The third, most popular, and actually the easiest for the end user, form of software distribution is software repositories. In reality, there is some sort of repository for virtually every distribution. The repository contains a complete distribution and software available for it. A notable exception is the Gentoo distribution, where you have to compile applications manually. In the case of this distribution, repositories with precompiled packages are available only for bigger software. For example, OpenOffice, word processors, web browsers, email clients. When it comes to other kinds of software, you can only find the information where to find a package with the source code that you need to compile manually. In fact, every operating system install disk is kind of a repository. The disk, in fact, contains the latest version of the repository, along with the installer and some additional tools that allow you to run it from the CD. Software you can download from repositories is always available in the form of precompiled packages. These packages are compatible with all the libraries available for a given distribution. If any program enters a repository of Fedora version 17, it's certain that it has been tested by its creators. It doesn't require any additional functionality. Thanks to this, software packages can be designed in such a way that they automatically install every component needed for the program to run. If you install from the repository a piece of software which requires a library that your system doesn't have, the package manager will automatically identify this dependency and install the missing library. In some distributions, such as Debian, the reverse operation is possible as well. When you wish to uninstall a program, you can automatically get rid of all the dependencies used exclusively by this program. This is very useful. Unfortunately, this functionality is only available in Debian and its derivatives. This helps you to keep your system in order. If there are no redundant libraries, the system is simply smaller. It doesn't mean, though, that the system will run faster, because, unlike in Windows, system performance in Linux is unaffected by how much software you've installed. For the same reason, you should take note of the software release lifecycle. If a particular software distribution is available in specific version, for example, KDE version 4.6, there's a very small chance that KDE version 4.7 will be available before the next system distribution, such as the Fedora 18 version, is released. This is due to the fact that, most often, newer versions of applications require newer versions of the libraries, which may not be backward compatible. To avoid problems with the dependencies between installed software and available libraries, the distribution is, in a sense, frozen, and major changes are introduced when its successor is released. Only some updates and things that must be added to the system are delivered for the current release. The developers make sure that no such update causes a conflict in any way with the applications working in the system. Code repositories and the fact that all software is available in one common repository has one extra advantage. Both the operating system and the software can be installed and updated in the same way. When you don't use your Windows system for a while, the next time you open it, a couple of windows will pop up immediately to tell you that this and that program must be updated. Not so in Linux. In Windows, each application needs an individual update. In Linux, the user is not bothered by such messages because all updates are available from a single source and through one channel. For the end user, it always looks just as one system update. Repositories are convenient. Therefore, nowadays, software developers who create additional software not only for themselves but also for others, prepare additional repositories as well. Usually there's a need for this, when for some reason the application can't be included in the main repository. This may happen for a number of reasons. The program may be underdeveloped, incompatible with the license, or simply, a similar application may already be included in the main repository. The developers of a given distribution don't want to use their resources to support software, which does essentially the same thing as some other already available program. This is the case with software for the OpenSUSE system. For example, Kadu is not available in the official repositories. You need to install this program manually, using packages provided by its developers. Kadu is not included in the main repository, because in the system there are already 2 other programs that support protocols used by Gadu. So there's no need to use human resources to support another program. Maintaining software, testing it, and preparing for distribution takes time. To bypass this problem, developers of additional software create their own repositories. Distributions such as Fedora or OpenSUSE allow users to create their own repositories using resources available for a given distribution. A user who creates such a repository doesn't need much funds or high-speed internet access to maintain it. From the end user's perspective, code repositories are the most convenient form of software distribution. Using them means that the system updates its software and handles all the dependencies. It also means that you have one central place in which to look for applications. You don't need to comb the internet to find a given program, because they're all at your fingertips. The version available in the main repository may not always be the very latest one. If you want to always have the most recent version of the software, you need to install it from the source code and resolve software dependencies manually. Relatively new versions may be available on the developer's website in the form of binary packages. Nevertheless, versions available in the repositories are thoroughly tested and properly functioning, as well as compatible with the rest of the system. Both installation and removal of software is user-friendly and doesn't leave junk files in the system. In general, in your daily work, you shouldn't come across other forms of software distribution than repositories. Very often, repositories are added automatically during system installation. The user doesn't need to do anything to activate updates. Software is updated automatically after the system installation. You don't need to add the main repository manually, because it's all done automatically. This is a very convenient and very user-friendly mechanism. Use it whenever it's possible.